Hey everybody, this is Debbie from Debbie D's Stamp Studio, and today I am going to demonstrate the Spectrum pads. I saw a demonstration on this a little bit ago and thought that it was something that probably gets overlooked in the catalog, so I just wanted to share that with you today. So let's get started. The Spectrum pads the samples are shown in the catalog on page 131, and here's your pad, and then here's a couple of samples. The pads come uninked, so here's your Spectrum pad. Tight. And they come uninked, so you've got 5 areas that you can fill with your ink. And here is my version of the card from the catalog. And this, I just took the ink pad direct to the paper and then stamped my saying on vellum, and then added a couple of little sequins to cover. I used a glue dot here and here to adhere my vellum, otherwise it's not attached. And then I used a sequins right over the top of that to cover the adhesive. And then here is direct to paper, just a sample with the ink pad separated, just to give you another fun look. And then on this sample, I did direct to paper with the ink pad on watercolor paper, and then used my aqua painter, and I put a couple of drips of ink on a block, and then just used a little bit, picked up a little bit of color on my aqua painter, and did a light wash with that. I thought that was really fun. So the colors in the sample in the catalog are Coastal Cabana, Lemon Lime Twist, Pineapple Punch, Mango Melody, and Flirty Flamingo. And then I've just cut little pieces of cardstock and written on there the colors so that I'll remember what they are. So when you store your ink pads, you're going to want to make sure they're separated, and then when you go to use it, you can either use it this way or push it together, and this one's hard, but and then you have your colors all blended together. You want to make sure that you pull this back apart when you store it. And you can store these upside down or upright. Either way, it doesn't matter. So I was going to show you how I filled the pad. And I've chosen 5 colors. Today, we're going to use Blueberry Bushel, Pear Pizzazz, Balmy Blue, Pool Party, and Soft Sea Foam. So we'll see how this works. I have an idea in my head of what I want to do, and we'll see if it works. So to ink up your pad, you're going to want to make sure that the pieces are separated, and then using your ink refill, you just squeeze your ink right onto the pad. This is the linen pad, not the squishy foam like the ink pads that we sell. So you just want to make sure you fill that in. So there's the Blueberry Bushel, one of the new 5 in colors. Pear Pizzazz. Just ink that up. Whoops, got a little bit on the next one. So might not want to get quite that crazy. Okay. Balmy Blue, one of the new colors that they've introduced this year with the color revamp. This is the way I did it before. Pool Party, one of my favorite colors, in the blue. And fill that in. And then last but not least, soft sea foam, which is another one of the new colors introduced this year. And the fun thing about this is you can create whatever color palette that you want to. So whatever colors you like, you can put together. These are actually listed in the catalog on page 202, and they are $12 a piece. So how fun to create your own ink pad. Okay. Now we'll see. I do want to show you, I pulled out a piece of the watercolor paper, and so I'm just going to close that, and it doesn't matter which way we go here. I line this up on my grid paper, great use for the grid paper, and then lay my paper over the top and just rub it and let that saturate. The first one I didn't get the ink saturated enough, and that's why I used the inkers to fill that in. So look how pretty that is. Oh, I love it. I think I'm going to be happy with those color choices. So then with your aqua painter, if you want to, get a little bit of water flowing in there, and then just give it a light wash over to blend the colors. Got a little too much there. And with my other sample, I'll show you here in a second. I wanted the colors a little more vibrant for that card. So that's why I used, look at that blueberry bushel. That's why I used the re-inkers on my block to create that look. So here's the sample again, where I actually added a little bit of re-inker to make those colors more vibrant and kind of blend more together. And so this is, you know, just playing around, testing it, see what you like. So we'll set that aside. Then of course you'll let that dry. Okay. So for my card today, I want to do the direct to paper, like I did in this, to copy the sample in the catalog. And again, I'm going to put my ink pad down, line it up with my grid paper so I can get it fairly straight. This looks a little crooked to me on the ink pad. And then just lay my paper on here and rub it to get that ink to saturate. Now on the Whisper White cardstock, you can see the color coming through. It's not as heavy as the watercolor paper. So yes, I like that. Again, make sure you separate the ink colors to store so they don't all blend together, and then close that up. So let that dry a little bit. I'm liking that. Now the stamp set that I had in mind today to use is the Rooted in Nature. This is probably my most favorite new set in the catalog. So let's see what we can do with that. And like I said, I have kind of an idea in my mind, and we'll see if it actually works. So again, I'm going to mount the big oak tree and use my grid paper to get my stamp straight on the block. Doesn't necessarily mean I stamp straight, but we'll see. And then with the soft sea foam, I was thinking I wanted the big tree in the background. So I'm going to ink that up with soft sea foam because it's a very light color. I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to put it right here. Like I said, I have not made this card. I'm doing it. Oh, can't even see it. Okay, so much for that idea. Trial and error. That's what it's all about. But we could use a darker green, possibly, the Pear Pizzazz, and try that. So let's try that. We'll just have lots of trees going on here. Ink that up, and maybe I don't want to stamp off. We'll see. We'll just stamp right over the top of that other one. I don't think it's really going to matter. Ah, yeah, there we go. That's better. Clean that off and close that up. And then I've got a piece of Pear Pizzazz cut and a layer of the, what did I choose? Pool Party. So I am just going to go ahead and adhere this. It's still a little wet. Adhere this down to the Pool Party. You're probably wondering why I turned that over. When I cut my paper, sometimes it has like a little ridge on it, and I like that ridge to not show, so I turn it over. Get that down there. Let's see. I'm thinking about adding some ribbon across here. So I think we'll do that. This is the Blueberry Bushel grosgrain ribbon, 1/8 inch wide, new in the catalog again to go with the in colors. It comes in all 5 of the in color colors. Add a little adhesive there and just stick this on the back. Again, you can use your grid paper to help you make sure that your ribbon is straight. That'll work. I was going to put, maybe a little more adhesive. And it would help to look at the front to get it where you want it. I want it right on that line. Fingers are sticking to the adhesive. Okay, then we'll just glue this down. To my card base. Put that down. That's still wet, it's kind of bumpy. And then I'm just going to tie a little knot here. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Trim that off. And then ahead of time, I thought that I wanted to add the little leaves. These are the little cutouts from the framelits in the Rooted in Nature bundle. And I thought that we might add a couple little leaves here. So with dimensionals, gotta have, these are the tiny little dimensionals. I love these. I think we will glue this one down. And we'll just tuck it right under here. Right there. And then we'll add this one with the dimensionals. And tuck this one right here. Okay. And then I'm going to grab my phone folder. I've pre-scored that just to save some time. Oh, that's all bubbly. And then use your bone folder. And there you go. So not too bad for trial and error, or not really knowing what I was going to do. So that is the Spectrum pads. Again, they can be found on page 202 in the catalog, and the samples are on page 131. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon.